the two major side control escapes that I like to use, and we're going to go off what I call a heavy side control. So my partner's got quite a bit of mobility, and all I'm looking for is that opportunity to create a space to get my arm underneath the armpit. Once I'm underneath the armpit, I can start to manipulate my partners and move. So we're going to go punch on top of side control, please. I always want to make sure that to move, if my elbows and hands are compressed against my body, if I try and push, I'm going to get like very minimal results. The number two thing is, anytime that I plant my feet onto the ground and bridge, it can upgrade to knee ride or mount because my feet are committed to the ground. So first things first is to stop the easy upgrade to knee ride or to mount. First thing that I do is I open my legs up and slide away from my partner. That increases the distance for him to upgrade to knee ride or to mount. So 1 and 2 and I'll frame. So now the weight's now pushing into my partner, not up. Come on, Nima. So again, so from here, first things first is, if I try and bridge and push, it doesn't really do anything. I'm just pushing him up, it's going to come back down. So I open up one, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to turn my hip, I push my partner to get my knee through from here. The defense for this is that I'm trying to get space to shoot an underhook from here to start to my escape. Anytime that my partner picks my arm up, he's going to go to what we call kezukatami, or headlock. So it's really important that I get my arm back underneath my body as fast as I can so he can't grab the arm. And let's have a look at that again. So the side control position, one of the biggest things I see is people just simply bridge. What goes up must come down. So I open up a space which allows my hips to turn to the side. I can now push into my partner to create space to push and shoot my underhook. If I raise my elbow too far, it's going to go to whiz up a dog fight or dance or anaconda. So make sure that it's nice and low and my head's low as well. This way, if it does try to wrap my head up and down, I've got the ability to drag the elbow to take this weight over me and get to the top position. So even if I've got a fair bit of weight on me, this maneuver here is going to be able to move them because they're diving over me and the weight's coming on top of me. Ian, come here please. Top side. Top side control. Okay, so once again, one of the biggest things is once I see your hands in what we call a negative position. So this is bad for me here because I can't do much. So what people normally do is they put their feet down, they bridge and they try and push up. This gives my partner the ability to upgrade to knee ride and to mount because my feet are committed to the ground. So I want to turn my hips towards my partner. Big step, slide, I can now push my partner away to get the underhook. Make sure that my hand's low. If he goes to whizzer or a dog fight, it's hard for him to get it. If my partner does commit his right hand through, I pull my elbow and my partner to my body, I slide underneath my partner and I look to the top position. Making sure that my shoulder control is right within to keep it pinned. So right now the goal for you guys is just get the underhook position and then we'll upgrade from there. 1, 2, 3. Ian, come here. On top side control. I didn't record any of that conversation, you missed it all, it was hilarious. Okay, so number one is create space, turn my hip towards my partner, shoot my hand under. This is the part that I see a lot of people make mistakes. My elbow connects to his hand. I don't push up anymore. My elbow connects with his hand and I throw a judo chop high. Because his arm's caught, he can't move. Does that make sense? So because his arm's caught, this enables me to come over, start to touch to the head and start to go to my rolling dance, anacondas, etc. from underneath. You have the option to get to your feet as well if you want to get to your knees. So the difference on this one is once I'm, just come with me a little bit, is we're here. So 1, 2, turn, push, here. So I'm going to go, elbow comes down to the gut, and the more I shoot it here, the worse it is. So I want to create space. So that goes nice and high. Right. I'm rolling my right knee down, so my right knee comes down, so I'm turning belly down. Does that make sense? If I can't capitalize on grabbing the head, I come over the top and use this to come to my top position. Take hold of the elbow, take hold of the head, pull it in. That'll drag him down. And now you can switch to the back if you want to switch it to the back. the dust is there, the anaconda's there, the head drag's there as well. One more time. So from here, the biggest mistake that I see the people make is that they don't create space. So one, turn my knee, turn my hip down, come under, hit the ground, throw it up nice and high. And what I'm doing instead of walking is my knee comes over, bump, I drag my arm under, so as I'm dragging, I've got the ability to come up. Take hold of the head, take hold of the arm. This way if he tries to shoot the single or the double, it's very hard to do. So what I'm doing is I'm going to pull the arm up to collapse his frame to come onto the top position. So once I've got that head and that arm, I don't go close to the arm, but I go close to the elbow, and I drag it out, and that'll collapse his frame. It's easier for me to start to take the back from there. One more time, doing good. So the dust and the anaconda from underneath. See it, Joe, thank you. Okay, create space, turn to the side, elbow down, elbow high from here, come, cups, so I'm pulling him in, so the bottom hand, cups, top hand holds, close the space up from here. Bring my abs in, squeeze, roll, and choke. 1, 2, 3. Just come in, guys. So this is, I'll just cover the dust and the finishing mechanism on the dust and anaconda from underneath. And what I'm trying to do is make my partner carry as much of my muscle and body density as I can. So it's not the squeeze. The squeeze is part one, and then the muscle like say, and what I mean by that is, I'm going to go really slow and explain it because a lot of people don't understand this and it's hard to work out. So don't worry, I create space, I come underneath everyone's here. My hand goes high, I cup it. So it's this hand here that's doing the choking. It's not this hand. So my body adds palm towards me. I sit up, close the space. Now, if I'm long, my muscle density or my body mass is on the ground and it's spread out. So Ian can walk left, right, up, down, etc., etc. Does that make sense? I've got no control. So what I'm trying to do from there, even if I've got a lock in, so what I'm trying to do is make him carry as much of my muscle weight and my density. So I'm going to go here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to curl underneath my partner. So now all my weight is onto his head. So if he tries to move left, right, up or down, where if I'm here, yes. So I'm trying to make him carry. So on top, I'm trying to trap the leg to stop him from moving. But his legs are so far away from me underneath that it's very hard for me to grab. So what I try and do is I try and come here and I roll my legs as deep as I can underneath it. And that means that I'm compressing a bit and I'm pulling nice and tight. The more that he hand fights me, the more the choke comes on. Because the hand fight that he wants to hand fight with is on the wrong hand. So I can only hand fight with that hand, but that's on the wrong side. Where if I'm here, he can hand fight because he can, yeah, right? So on the hand that I want to compress, I want to put all the pressure on left and right, is I squeeze and I walk. And that's going to make it, and I'm not, there's probably a 20% squeeze on his neck, but it's the walking to make him carry my muscle, or to make him carry my density, my body density is more important. So for me, pull it in. So if I pull too early, if I get here and I pull, there's not carrying any of my body weight. Does that make sense? So I try and throw, but I get to the position where like it's hard for him to move. I can go up, whatever you want. I prefer this. What something is, I just try and walk underneath my partner, and I'm putting my hands. I'm not dragging him onto me. I'm dragging him into my stomach. So I'm squeezing him into my stomach. So I compact it. So worst comes worst, if I'm here and by some miracle in hand fight, I feel the ability to head push to come up to the top position. I'm still upgrading my position. Let's have a shot at that again, guys. So from here, hands on the inside, hands on the under, great space, turn my head, push up, one thing in, from under. Okay. Pull my partner down to my bottom hip, so palm to palm. Here, step here. Space. Now, I can just walk under and squeeze. If I feel my partner is stronger than me, I should let them over the top. Once I'm over the top, that's good. Once I'm over the top, we're going to the front. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. To make it work is I turn my body towards my partner and I just walk. And that's the finish line. If I'm having trouble finishing this, like if my partner sprawls on his ring and I'm like, man, I have trouble. My hand comes under, I just come up on top and use this. If I want the choke, here to here. The hard thing about this choke is consolidating the position. So I can't pull Tyson's head towards me because he's fighting me. So the more that he fights it, the more I have the ability to walk my hips underneath. So it's not me putting that head on top of me, it's me walking my hips underneath. You feel the difference in that straight away. So the more that you fight the choke, the more that you pull out of it, the more space you get. Yeah. So the more space it creates, the I slide underneath the tighter the choke. And the downfall of that is once I walk probably like neck deep underneath you, it's really hard for you to defend it because you're now carrying all of my weight. Right? So same again is like here, I create space, I turn my hips, well, from open, what I'm doing is I'm getting the grip. Pop out the back, so for me, he's going to start the fight, so I've got to keep his hand being in. So I'll make sure that I'm up against the up cross and underneath. So I've got to keep, if this arm pops out, yeah, right? So to stop all I do is I'll pull it into my arm. And this isn't a choke, this is just a security mechanism. So he's strictly going to go, I want to create space. So as he creates space, that's the ability to push under to put the choke out. So it's not necessarily me squeezing, I just hold and he goes, I go on B, and as he backs out, that creates a space for me to spin underneath you. And you're now carrying most of my weight on your neck with that grip. I haven't switched my grip yet, but the choke's pretty much on super tight. Okay. This is a pretty high level, and it's something that I've been working on and playing around with quite a fair bit, and I'm having huge success with it. It's more that if they haven't seen it, you're going to have more success. Once they know it's coming, like most things, it's easier to defend. But at this stage here, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm getting a lot of reactions out of it, and it's something that is really off the scene at the moment. I'm right through. So Ian is on control again. You guys jump on this side, easy to see. Yeah, you got me, buddy. Okay, so same deal again is my hands are on the inside from here. I create space, I turn towards my partner, push, my hand comes under, but I flick a foregrip. And I get my submission. So, yeah.
So slow.
1, 2, push, figure 4. So even if I pull the arm out, it's still pretty good. It's actually worse if you try and pull the arm out. Hypothetically, push, so before we're coming here, this time I come through and it's the blade, so I'm trying to get the blade. So when I grab it, it's this way, it's not this way. I block the head. So for me, right, is what I started to do is I just start to walk out. And it's friggin' horrible. Jump out. Hamish.
Is that twisting the mind?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't had it done to me, but everyone I've done to just goes, that's fucking horrible.
Is that twisting the finger?
It's like a slicer, a bicep slicer, but I'm doing a tricep slicer. Who invents this shit, man? Yeah, exactly. So, push, great space, push, coming through, lock it up.
And he's not soft either.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones that he's on now. Right, and I push away, I come over and I tap him from underneath. Mount.
He said it in the show, is that?
So This is just one of those ones that when you get it, it's going to take a while just to go cakes, but you can do this from almost anywhere. It's such a good little move. 1, 2, 3. So the biggest thing that I see when people start doing this is how they roll. Okay, so first of all is I slide, I extend, I roll, I punch it. I slide, I extend, I roll.
That's good.
Like, what I was saying, imagine changing gears in the car and it's like, like there's no way I'm going to get this all jerky and chunky. So it's got to be smooth, it's got to be like here. So I go here, so he goes, man, I'll drive into him. I'm like here, he goes, man, I'm going to drive into him. I'm like, oh, man, you almost got me, you almost got me, you almost got me. Oh shit, I'm sorry, did that hurt? So, but you've got to be smooth, man. Like this is one of those ones that you've got to make him think he's winning the fight. Because he is, until I get this. So, open, slide, push. Open, slide, grip. Okay, now squeeze my elbows into my body to make it work. He tries to pull down now, switch, take it from one. Right. He sits over, boom, I got him. And through, boom, overhead, boom, armbar. We've got 2 minutes, 1, 2, 3, go.